Okay. Yeah, I can't remember. You could mention this too. Okay, so back. So what happened was the previous video. I do want to sit where I'm more comfortable, but the dog's laying good. But he's one of those. I don't know if it's a breed thing or whatever, but he only lived with his first owners for 3 months. But I was watching a show recently where the guy seemed to think that the dog was like really had bad separation anxiety when falling over. Sometimes all you have to do is get up, and he will too. But yeah, it's weird how much more space that moving that keyboard out of the room has made. Anywho, what happened was I somehow it saved the title that I first came up with, and I'm just gonna move this a smidgen closer. I think it saved the title that I first came up with. But for whatever reason, I just and then for some reason I had to adjust the light. You know what I might do? Because for some reason, that's not very good lighting. I might find this one to be too good. It's amazing that that's lower. I guess they're longer than the other. Lower and longer. That might be too bright, but the other light wasn't. Yeah. Anywho, so it saved the previous title. Was wonky for a moment. I reloaded the page, had to retitle it, did it. And then the second time I came and did it, it was like operating with the old title. Home screens everyone started too much, which was really weird, especially considering, oh, good boy, hey. Yeah. Oh, we got a like right away. Yeah, here's Sunny. Especially considering that, but doesn't say anybody's viewing, so that's interesting. But sometimes there's a delay, but this is a big one. But anyway, and then he's just going to be noisy, I can tell. I don't know. I know I think about. He was being initially good. Like I said, when I got up, he kind of stirred. And anywho, I don't have him in this room very much, honestly. Usually he lays in his crate in the other room or stays downstairs or whatever. But and I feel like it may be kind of like, I'd already had the dog put away. Just noticing the condition of the ceiling there. Like, I can't show you because it's a laptop, but it's kind of looks like there's a crack forming its bone, and then there's a weird shape. Anywho, that's so interesting. Somebody must have briefly been here for 5 seconds or whatever when I wasn't looking. But yeah. Anywho, basically, this is a good way to do it if I don't want my shirt to be distracting, but I want to wear the shirt. I thought I had a lot more t-shirts, but a lot of them have distracting stuff on them. I don't know. It's not the end of the world, but I don't know. Some of them are very specific. But anywho, point of the matter being is that well, one thing I noticed in the settings, as somebody tunes in, welcome, is that like it'll do like a timestamp, which is sometimes like 2 minutes before what the actual device says it is. Or one time I did one and it didn't premiere to that hour, but in the PM. I don't know. Anywho, I'm not going to be super specific. If people know, they know. They shouldn't just think they know, and it doesn't really matter. Part of this is for me. Part of this is to show you that it's doable and that it's special and lovely. And yeah, so and sorry that from this distance my eyes look like they're not open very much. Is what I'm kind of noticing. There, that's a bit better. Anywho, so for those that saw the previous one and happened to notice, like this is like right after what happened, it said the start month. For some reason, this is a new group that I was going to go to that started just in March, and it said bi-weekly. And I saw that, but I thought, well, yeah. And then before I left, I decided, okay, I'll call and make sure. And interestingly, often when I try to reach them, I'll just say, no, I'm not that guy. Often when I try to reach them. I can't get through, and I either leave a voicemail or try again. This time I got through the first time, and I said, "Is this group happening?" She says, "No." I said, "Oh." She says, "It's not every week." And I said, "Oh, next week?" She says, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." But it's kind of funny because my friend who passed away, and I don't, and this is the thing, of the things that she passed away with, I was thinking about this, I think last night, yeah. Of the things that she passed, or maybe it was this morning, passed away with, sure, we could say maybe I'm trying to relate. Maybe I do relate in this way. I mean, we had some similarities for sure, which is why we got along. You know, differences are okay, and obviously a thing too. That's what we can think. Okay, but you know, I might get warm soon, but the next chilly at the moment. But yeah, that's that, and it's rain get colder. But basically, and it's funny. I kind of heard it before, but I heard a bit of a joke with it afterwards. I could have pulled up a calendar. I don't honestly use it very much. I mean, I don't know how much I usually put in it these days. I don't know. I could have. It was easy enough just to call, and now I know it's a little bit disappointing because other than a doctor's call tomorrow, I'm possibly getting out for a bike ride or two. Although my bike, the one I used a couple days ago, is rideable, but should be looked at, and so that has to be looked at before July anyway. But the less I have to do with it, the better. But you know, I mean, July is what, 2 months away, and I mean, it's something that keeps me physically active, and I don't really want to. She says you are bisexual. I don't want to not do it, you know, and wait till July. It's something, especially on the weekends, both of us can do it. I mean, the other person I live with, I don't know. It would feel weird to have to wait till the weekend. I mean, have to wait till July when I know I'm going to need it. You know, but at the same time, I don't. You know, traffic so potholes. I don't really want to, you know, cause any problems that make me need to spend more money on it or whatever to get it usable. Sure, I could walk that every time, but that's a busy time for me in July, and I want to have the option. And what's really nice is they actually at this festival, theater festival, they actually have a bike monitoring volunteers. Now, some of them say, you know, it's still at your own risk. And it's like, well, you, even if not getting paid, you should be doing your role, you know, and you know. But at the same time, I can understand if people, you know. But then I say, don't take that shift. You know, if people don't want confrontation or whatever, because I don't like it, you know, and you're not going to notice sometimes, you know, or know for sure whether that's the person that locked it up or not. You know, they get what, almost 100 bikes in that thing, maybe more. We've only been doing it for a few years. I mean, the pandemic, the festival stopped. But so, anywho, so I don't really have a lot on this week. This thing was one of the things I thought I did. Made somebody there for like 2 minutes. But, you know, so it's kind of like, maybe it was just Michelle quickly popping in, but I know she's busy at work and with other stuff coming up. But yeah, you know, it's kind of like, I'm disappointed. I am a bit disappointed because I was looking forward to it, and even though it's early, I mean, I'm always up fairly early, and so I've been up for a couple of hours. I had a shower and everything good, which I suppose was a good thing to do anyway. And it's funny, I'm not going to say again who, and just, you know, for anybody that watches this after, nobody's here at the moment, you know, I don't always have a filter, neither do angels, you know, sometimes my loved ones. And I'm not used to being around kids very much either. So, I mean, and yeah, she wasn't just saying it to me, but why not share it, you know? Why not? This is Chester, by the way. She said, well, you know, got you in the shower at least. Kind of joke, you know. But I could tell that, she, you know, even though she sometimes had a what could be, it came up recently, might have been seen as a nervous laugh. It was kind of like a little light laugh that she did sometimes. But still, I'm not saying who people might recognize me, but I could have lost anybody, you know, because I realize this is YouTube. Anybody might see it. You know, I actually have had a lot of people in my life pass away, and I've got losses. So I mean, you know, you could think you know who I'm talking about, but I might not be. And either way, this is my, relationship with them that, started when they were living and carrying on in its way now that they're not, you know, and, and I'm not the only one with the reins. I mean, it's never bad. She wasn't that way, uh, you know, um, and I'm not necessarily. There was actually a post in a group I'm in, one that I've been in for a while, so not one of the other two I'm thinking of. Yeah, these buckets are for but and I've been meaning to look back at it. And I seem to remember some reason it wasn't on Instagram, but Instagram was involved, and I looked and there was two, and I mentioned that in the comment, and he liked or hearted it, but didn't say, "Well, I understand why I have to," but I only used one. But um, I kind of felt like I had to create the second one. I can really only view the one, but so things like that happen. But I know my reason. I don't know his unless I find it out. You know what I mean? But it was very interesting because he had mentioned something about, I mean, it's not all about that, but certainly not possession. I mean, there's all kinds of different healings and interactions that can be had, but sometimes they are a little flirtatious. Dylan, be. Sometimes they really are, and it's interesting because, well, I feel like she's reminding me that this is, I know it's coming from her. I just know it. You might not think it is, but I know it is. Kind of thing. And basically, she's saying, you're not unattractive, bud. And I don't mind kind of getting you a little bit. How do we say this on your video? Worked up. There's another word that comes to mind, but two now. But again, I said nobody's here at the moment, and much as I want to say a lot of things on this channel could be for kids, but she's like, you better watch that. She's like, because you are very entertaining and fun and smart, and you can be a good influence for younger people too. But yeah, I think we know what she's getting at there, as far as getting me in the shower anyway. And then very nice, when we come home, we usually let the dog go to the bedroom and greet him. I'd already kind of put him in there, then found out I wasn't leaving, so I got to do that, and now spending some time. I mean, I spend time with the whole house with him. I mean, usually on the main floor, but yeah. So basically, but that was the other joke, because this group is bi-weekly. She said, and she was kind of joking, or you should have been able to figure that out being bi. But so now everybody knows. Well, and then the viewer that was there for like a minute or two said bye. Yeah, bye. Anyway, don't mind me. I can tell you. But so it's something to do. It's something to do here. And that could be a topic we could talk about. I don't know if I want to do it here. It's Jed channel, they just know. But he often forgets. Not so much about me specifically, but just kind of in general. Oh, they got a wife, so I guess, or yeah, that's the time it often comes up. But anyway, point of the matter is that yeah, but I really, in the future, if I can't reach them, look at the calendar, look at the start dates of March 28th, and then say, okay, it's this week, it's not this week, it's this week, it's not this week. It's annoying that they do it that way, and some people would like it weekly, and I'd figure it out. But yeah, she's like, yeah, so I bet that it wasn't happening. It's about 10 minutes to when it would have began. She's like, and it's interesting, when I was in the shower, she just, I forget, like she was kind of at the stairs. It said something about, honestly, I can't remember at the moment, but it wasn't flirtatious then necessarily, or at least I don't think it was. I said, I've got to go do some things to do. Have a good day. I forget the details. There wasn't a lot of them, and actually, whatever was said, I always believe if I'm tuning in, then tuning into that soul, something really sounds more like that person than other times. It's just like in life, Sometimes we'll say that didn't seem like you, and spirit grows and evolves. But essentially they stay, the same type of personality. Age, that's something I've talked about in other videos. Basically they go to their best years. Not only are they free of health problems, but like they don't age. They get to pick a year. Oh, we still got some of that. So that's good. Or around an approximate age, and that's where they're at. And ironically, she shared with me that she picked pretty much how old she was when we met her, which was almost not necessarily half, but it was like half of her age. If that, like, not half of her life, but like her age divided by 2. Does that make sense? I don't want to be super specific because it might, yeah. But I know it makes sense to me anyway, and I can clarify try and clarify if I can, if I need to. But yeah, so basically, I know there was a couple times in the previous video I said maybe we'll go deeper into that topic in the next one or later. I can't remember what those were at the moment, and I otherwise feel like I covered things pretty good. You still have your thingy here, Sonny. Yeah. So, it was okay that you didn't want to finish it all at one. It'd be funny if we forgot it up here, and then it wasn't quite where I would necessarily step, but I may have. It's like, oh, I stepped on the. Well, I don't know if it was to be wet, like these dried really fast, but yeah. And like, I'm not trying to scam anybody, and it's mostly for myself that I do this. So, like as I'm getting to know the people there, I might say, well, what I did instead was I had visits from my loved ones spiritually when the group wasn't happening. I don't know if I want to share that the first time. And then I don't know if I share it there, but also important to remember that I'm still human. I still grieve. I still struggle just like anybody. This makes it easier. In some ways, it makes it harder. Because that was one thing I kind of remember. And again, I know it wasn't that long ago, but I don't remember the details. Came out of the shower. And I think part of it was that she had kind of said, see you later for now, which turned out to be like 15, 20 minutes. And when she did that, good boy, hey? When she did that, I almost found myself tearing up. He's gonna look himself in the mirror now. Yeah, that's you. Because, yeah, like I say, it comes in waves, even though I very much know that she's passed away, at least on the physical realm here. I guess when she said, see you later for now, that particular moment, it hit me. But I felt like if I did make it there, she'd kind of be there in spirit. Doesn't need to be. And, I'd have other people I was around. She wouldn't want to be distracting, probably. And hopefully you don't either, right, Sonny? I'll wrap this up soon. But, at the same time, I don't have much else going on. One thing I was going to do. Oh, that's right. I was still going to go and get, and I thought, it's health food in a way. People might eat it for breakfast. If not, they're open. So hopefully, and they did the coolest thing. I thought maybe there'd be a job in this, but somebody already does it probably. Well, obviously, maybe more than one somebody. But basically, they have the items for each dish in bins, so that they can. Oh, now you pick that up, eh? Okay, well at least I know that you're still wanting it. Do I want one of these? I tried to ask him the other day. What's the reason why you would have that? And I actually think they can answer, but I don't remember. But anyway, basically, I'm just noticing a new flower picture there on top of the other keyboard. I don't remember that catching my eye before. What happened was I was going to go and get lunch anyway, and it just feels like the whole day is getting derailed. I mean, it was supposed to be rainy, and it isn't. But not super long ago where snow melted, and there's all kinds of dirt and dust and whatever underneath it, and it's just we haven't had a good rain yet. We've had a little bit overnight the one night, maybe even a little bit overnight last night, and we're supposed to get at least a couple more times this week. But it's kind of like we just it is true, a good rain, to start off the spring, which is I guess always short season here, can really kind of clean things off, and we need it. So the allergies, are a bit, or just the sensitivities to the dust and stuff in the air. I mean, although that being said, I was intending to wear, one of those blue masks, and possibly glasses, even though it's not that sunny, so I might look a little funny in there. But I don't wear them very often, but they're what I have handy. But no, I stepped outside, and now I've let them out. Everybody gets put back in. I stepped outside, and I thought, oh, it's to be on foot, it's a little too cool. Wonder though if I could. I do know where my key is here. And I could say I didn't see a spot because I don't remember there being one actually. Did I leave my key in the door? I'm just going to go check because I don't see it in my feel it in my pocket. Okay, I see where it is. So before going all the way down. But if I wanted to try and get there before the rain, still have my nice lunch, because what else we have, even though we did get a few, it's mostly breakfasts and fillers and stuff. By the way, for anybody who buys the brand Catelli pasta sauce, as well as just so I'm thinking about it, as well as it's supposed to rain early, so I might still go up, but then I put it in the thing. But let me see if he's in there now. Actually, I'll just close it on him. Yeah, oh, good boy. Where is it? Weird. He came out of the room with his rawhide. I thought he brought it in the crate with him. I don't see it. I think there was too much to finish that quickly. But sometimes he won't touch it while we're away. And then when we come, well, it's the first thing he wants to get. But why not try and make that, at least that one plan of mine happen, I think still. So, but yeah, and various varieties of soup have been recalled. But I saw that we shop mostly online. Online delivery, because it started during the pandemic and we don't drive and yada yada. But I was in the store, and actually, this would be a good segue to very quickly mention that, and the dog being good, thankfully, that how we were talking, I was talking, and you may know, if you don't, you should check it out. In the previous video, I was talking over the weekend. I was talking about people that strangers and people that we've known in life that stick out in our mind. Well, and money last thing, things have been really good. I think we got some cash today. I left some money at home, and it isn't brag. I don't know why I want to share it. Just do, and like 15 people liked it in the group post. But I had some money in two different spots, not a lot, but put aside for other things. And I went with $50, I think, which is so easy, even when you don't get a lot, to spend $50. I got some nice stuff, but and there actually is some apple in the apple cinnamon bread. The first two or three slices that I went through, I didn't notice it. But basically, there was this lady, and I also, the cart that I had didn't have a terrible reel, but it was a little iffy about partway through. There was this lady I kept kind of running into. Lovely lady with blonde hair, and she had, I think, a brown, I think it was leather, but I'm not sure, jacket, and she seemed fancy, in my opinion. And it may have been a mixture of, I'd like to get my stuff checked through and on with my day. It was Easter Saturday or Sunday, I think, but it may have also been that she wanted to be helpful. And I have had times where I've struggled. I've had to put things back. I don't remember there being many times when there's been people behind me. but I'm sure there has. And actually, I'm sure I do kind of remember that there have been times when people haven't done this. And this particular lady, this was her wording, but still, um, happened to be. And it was weird because I thought it was two young people my age. Not that she may have been far from my age, but two people my age behind me, I thought. And they had like those smaller baskets, but they must have decided to they needed to get something else or wanted to get something else or went to a different line or whatever. Or the self checkout, maybe checking out yourself again. I'm just kidding. Anywho, but the lady behind me, she said, because I was having to put things back, and the cashier, even though her English was fine and everything, like I said, I want this and this, but she took that as I want this and this off of the order or whatever, and this and that, and I even said a couple times, I'm with somebody who's in Dollarama, I can come back and get the rest, and it just so happened that, and it made my day, and now she's someone I remember. She reminded me a bit of that when Paris was, I want to say Violet, but I don't think that's right. The one was the one that reminds me of the end, and also Michelle's sister, kind of. Anywho, and she says, if it's just a few bucks, I'll cover it. I said, oh, okay, thank you. And she's like, yeah, it's fine. And I felt like I got a bit of free stuff. It was about probably $5 or $10. And I mean, I'm still not rich, even though I had some money set aside and some of it maybe for a trip we don't end up going on. But, you know, it's still. But I do have a garage key, so I think, and I do know which bike I'm going to ride now because I left it kind of close to the front. And I can go into that place with my bike just fine. I wouldn't be able to eat it, though, at the same time. But they have good containers, and they give away compostable, apparently, forks, but they're not wood and they're not cardboard. So I'm happy. Plastic's recyclable. Anywho, so I'm going to get that, I think. Get myself a nice lunch. I'll get back. It'll be 11 o'clock. I better try and get there before the rain, but that's another. So when I initially stepped out, it was like, oh, it's too cold. You know, and sure, you could say, oh, wimpy, you know, but, and I'm not feeling terrible this morning. I'm actually feeling pretty good. And then the shower possibly helped, but I was feeling that bad before then too. But I do believe I have anemia and some other health issues where I'm more susceptible. I mean, I might actually change into, although I remember to take this money out, change into a dragon. Half man, half horse. No, just kidding. Into, and I was being good because I'm being slow again. Pants to go because I do have hairy legs, and so in the cool weather, you know, they blows on them uncomfortably, and I'm sensitive. But yeah, that's the thing too. I'm also on the autism spectrum, blah blah blah. So you know, I stepped outside and I thought the sun was coming out, but it's kind of went in a little bit too, and it was like, it's windy and dusty and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I could say I don't really know if I want to put my bike out there. I've got a new lock I haven't figured out yet. I figured hopefully it's okay if I come in, and I think they're pretty laid back there, and I'm just coming to pick something up, and they make it pretty quick, and they help each other sometimes, so it should be good. If I'm able to eat a little bit there, great. I wouldn't mind maybe coming back and having a bit more coffee with it. And then, so what I'm going to have is this veggie thing, including with zucchini noodles. Not that I'm a huge vegetarian, but I'm not a huge meat eater either. They also usually mix rice with it, but that's carbs, and I don't really feel like rice. I've had a lot of, the good thing is the portions were so big that it took me like 3 days to, and it was kind of intense, but kind of not. And I had it with other stuff too to finish. Well, I got like 3 dishes. One was honestly just a boring salad I wouldn't get again. I thought that was going to be a bit better than that. But yeah, anywho, I do want to try and beat the rain, but if I'm biking, it's fine. And that's the other reason I don't really like the bike in the rain. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. I wouldn't have been able to bring the bike anyway, I don't think, because I don't know if I would have been able to bring it into the other place. It's not like I'm that much of a regular there yet, although I'm becoming one. I'm becoming. And I don't know if there was space. I think that they would probably understand why I wouldn't want to leave it locked up in that plaza. I mean, maybe I'll ask next time I'm there. I'll have to watch the back YouTube. Show me. Maybe I'll ask next time I'm there and say, can I come with my bike and bring it in with me though? If I ever want to. Because if I'm running late or I just want to get a bike ride in, or it's a little easier physically, I would say, sometimes than walking, then it's good. But so I'm gonna go do that now that I figured that out. And I don't know, maybe this is helpful in like, oh, I have a hard time, working through my thoughts, sometimes. And maybe you'll see this and be like, you know what? But the way he did it, I don't know how you describe that way. I should try it, kind of thing. But also, what I guess it's a distraction that I have in my mind. But and this one's been almost 30 minutes. Um, um, but I did want to share a little bit of original stuff too. Uh, Aw, basic. I can, and I feel like this was in that Maximum movie too. Maybe I don't know because like she said it before. This sounds deja vu. It's funny. The first time I went to this center, I felt deja vu. Sitting. The radio was on. I was at the couch for a moment. I mean, which is not unusual. I mean, I often am at the couch. I mean, a lot of people sit at their couch, but like I'm not being in a rut in that. But there was something like the song that was on the radio and something else and something else. And it's like, so that's a topic. But this part about, oh, I could get on my bike and ride with you kind of thing. Um, and she's like, scratch that. Yes, you're right. Your dad is with me. And he's offered to take me for a horse carriage ride in the sky. He drove horse carriages. And it's ironic, one of his co-workers from this was in the 80s or 90s, now does tour buses of some sort. Some different type of transportation and tours. I'd love to reconnect with her. I should try again, but my message is wonky. So, but still, I can find her. I forget where it said she lives now. I don't think it was that area. Might be Alberta. Yeah, I'd like to try. I believe I had a message ages ago. I sent her that she never saw. She hadn't seen any of them yet. I'm tempted to try and search that while I'm thinking about it. And then I want to get moving and grooving before the. But again, if I'm on a bike, it doesn't really matter. I don't want to leave the dog in there too long without. I'm comfortable there though. I do want to make sure I remember this stuff. But yeah, I'm just trying to think before I wrap up. Is there anything else that I kind of want to make this about? I'll just use this tab as long as I can get it back. As long as I can get back to this one later, and I won't mention the specific viewer while I'm doing a search. If there's anybody watching, and we'll see if that works for me. I just hope it'll go back okay. But I'm just trying to think. So there's a little bit of sharing of the spiritual stuff. I don't usually have this light on here. What else? The spirit was kind of thinking through my day. I suppose it's true, but I would like to, and a couple of them are shorter, if that makes a difference for you. I would love to hear from people on the other most recent videos in the comments, and some of them got comments while live, but they don't display afterwards. I guess it's a setting. Yeah, I know it is. And yeah, even the town I'm originally from, there was a bunch of small towns near each other. So I don't know. I wish I knew her sister's new married name if she has one. But it's a common name too. It's ironic because I went to a group, actually speaking of groups with somebody with this name. You think about it, they actually had similar faces. Which is weird that I didn't seem to notice that back then, just the name thing. Trying to load notifications and a page at the